Good evening, everybody. Welcome to PatFacts. Patrick here, Pat on your back, personal fitness. Happy anniversary. This week marks our, hard to believe, 5th anniversary. It was 5 years ago yesterday, I believe, to the date that our first episode of PatFacts launched way back now in 2020. Started as a daily talk, giving some guidance and positivity and potential advice or strategies of how to deal with the pandemic situations, the lockdowns, isolations, things like that, and has evolved since then into kind of a 2 to 3 times a week, and then into a weekly format where again we still give guidance and advice and try to lead where we can, but it's not COVID related. But even what we talked about during the pandemic, in those first few months, even that first year, what was pertained to it, the pandemic was sort of the centerpiece. But a lot of the things we talked about would apply to any kind of situation you had going on, or can apply to things that you're trying to improve upon. Thinking of that first episode, talking about being max flex, maximum flexibility. We've talked about that even a couple of weeks ago. I think we mentioned that again, how that can pertain to a multitude of situations. And a lot of times, the more flexible we can be, especially when life hands us something, it can make that easier to work through and deal with. So just want to say thank you to those of you who've been here the whole 5 years. I know a lot of you have, and we appreciate you being here. There's not too many of you who've missed an episode in 5 years, which again, we really appreciate, whether you're here live or via recording. We always appreciate you being here and appreciate the support. And also welcome to those who are new to PatFacts, maybe within a few months, few weeks, maybe it's your first time in, maybe it's been a couple years. Whenever you joined us, again, we're happy to have you here, and hope you'll stick with us. Just doing a little bit of researching before we went live. 5th year anniversary, typically the gift traditionally would be, when I looked up, wood or silver, basically things that would show kind of a long-standing relationship or durability in the relationship. We've made it this far. Basically, here's to continue to stay together further, because we have these gifts that I'm going to give to you that last, and things that will stay with us. So I thought that was a cool analogy to go along with this, because we've been through 5 years together. We again, this started during the pandemic. We've come out of the pandemic, and are on to new challenges and different things that come up day to day. But we've been through a lot. So it's been neat to see and spend those 5 years together. And again, here's to another 5, 10, a multitude of years together as we continue to go forward. Thanks, Cayman, for the 5-piece. I appreciate that. For the fifth anniversary. Love that. Appreciate you being here and sending those in. Too bad I don't have them set up for an actual 5-piece, but I'll take those ones. That's good. I appreciate it, Cayman. Thanks for always being here, and for the support that you and Gabby have shown. I really appreciate it. So again, I thought that analogy of wood and silver, those long-term gifts, were very fitting to, again, the experiences we've gone through these last 5 years, or again, whenever you've joined us. And again, the experiences we want to continue to have. We want to continue to ascend to the end, as we say here, always getting better, always improving, working through those goals that we set for ourselves in the fall of the previous year that we're going to accomplish in the upcoming year. So last fall, we set our goal for this year that we're currently working towards to do our best to accomplish by the end of this year. And just to hear how you have all been ascending each year with your workouts, with your hydration, with nutrition, with work habits, with all the different things you've been working towards and working on. It's been great to hear from you and hear your progress, and even to hear from some of you who maybe I don't see live in the comments or in our live kind of numbers, but I get messages from you saying we've been watching and we've been enjoying the process, and we've been sleeping better. We've my husband and I have lost weight following some of the tips that you've been doing and some of your workouts, and just to hear that feedback, it's great. And to hear from people to say, I know you don't see me, but I watch and I'm there. Keep doing what you're doing. So it's very inspirational for me, and I try to take that and give it back to you guys, and we give each other that energy to each other to again keep going forward. That positivity pandemic that we talk about here. You can't see the clip because of the circle camera, but just up there's my positivity pandemic pat on your back personal fitness sign that was made for me by Andrea, a long-term viewer during the pandemic because of what we were going through. So it's really cool to create that this community that we have on multiple platforms. We're on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube currently. We do LinkedIn. We've done Instagram occasionally as well. Those of you that have been here probably remember me being somewhere and having two phones facing each other as the chats were just commenting back and forth. So I just tried to introduce you in that way. But it's really cool to create the community here with a variety of different people from different backgrounds, and how we've all kind of come to know each other either pre-pandemic or during, again, the pandemic. It's when we all kind of, some of us met and get to know each other through these platforms. So again, always appreciate the support, the likes, the shares, the comments in the chats. Again, always appreciate that interaction that you guys present and show up with, and the enthusiasm every week. Hey, Bonnie, welcome in. Yeah, 5 years. I know, right? It's hard to believe. I didn't really clue in until a couple weeks ago when I was thinking about what we were going to do the following week, and then I realized it's 2025, so it's been 5 years that we've been going strong. So yeah, I just want to again thank everyone for the support. Thinking of the again, the gifts, the wood or silverware, kind of being a traditional 5th anniversary sort of gift, and the symbolism of that of, hey, we've been through 5 years together. Here's to a multitude of years ahead. I thought that was a great tie into this as well, where hopefully we can continue to support each other and continue to grow and bring more people into our thriving community. And again, spread that positivity pandemic that's not going anywhere, and have more people feel that and embrace that and see the difference it can make for them. So again, thanks to you guys for being here with that. The colors I said was blue or turquoise. I think this is somewhere in between. Potentially, I would call it blue, but others people may be more specific. And it wasn't even planned. I saw the color as I have this shirt on all day. And then saw the color, so it ties in nice. Everything was meant to be for this. So again, feel free to share this out with your community. Again, looking back on some the past 5 years, thinking today it would have been cool to go back and maybe do some clips or pop through. So maybe we'll do that in kind of a future episode. Maybe do some flashbacks or something. But again, I always keep thinking back to that first episode. I had my notebook, which I still have here somewhere in my storage, I believe, with my, I think I had 10 topics of tips of getting through or dealing with and handling the pandemic and the isolations and being locked down and that sort of thing. And then it just kind of continued from there. It was something I had been wanting to do, some sort of online sort of show or platform. I just wasn't sure what to do and when and how to launch it and how to set it up. And then COVID hit, and I saw a couple of my mentors providing that. And I thought, oh, well, here's my time to reach out to my communities and provide that information and take those steps forward that I want to take. So I just went with it, and it's been, again, 5 years strong. A little hiatuses here and there, but for the most part, we've continued on. Again, different format changes. Like I said, was a daily show when we first started. I believe we went to 3 times a week, and then settled into our current kind of weekly format. typically just me. So thank you, especially for those who have been here for 5 years, listening to mostly just me talk every week, uh, between 30 and 45 minutes ish. But again, having some people, having our pal Blake come on the show with us, having members of Terry Fox run committee from Barrie, and also Edmonton, I believe, was join us a few times to talk about the Terry Fox run and what was going on. To be able to share content from some of my mentors and colleagues and people I follow, to give you guys that information as well. It's been a fun adventure and a fun way to go through. And just in reflecting back and looking back on the 5 years, going through what were one, so you guys went through three different houses with me where we first started, and then before we moved here, we had a short-term kind of rental while this place got ready before we moved in. So we're at 3 different places through different locations. Even within this place, I broadcast, I think, I'm in my basement here, 3 or 4 different spots just down here that I used to broadcast from, let alone upstairs for a while as well. So again, lots of changes, lots of different. StreamYard has evolved and grown. We have confetti backdrops and different camera angles and different sounds as well. So, but still looking ahead to maybe do more changes and more updates and tweak things a little bit, and maybe try to bring the community maybe a little closer together. I'm still doing some research on things, but just to maybe make things a little more straightforward for myself, but then also for the audience as well. We're looking at a few different options going forward. So still, again, initial stages and still looking into it, but thinking of different ways to maybe, again, have the community even closer together and more interactive, and then have things, again, a little more streamlined for myself as far as broadcasting to you guys. Looking to, again, maybe have guests on, more guests, some different guests once in a while. Again, have been toying with that theory for a couple of years now, and then just trying to look at, do I do a separate day with a guest or different options with that? So still looking into that, and to give you guys a little break from just my voice all the time as well. But more to come on that as we go forward. And as always, those of you that are here, again, if you have any questions you'd like us to address, if you have any topics you'd like us to discuss, please let me know. Again, send me a message in your comments, in your chats, send me a DM. And then if it's something I can't maybe speak to, if it's within my scope of practice, I probably know someone who knows someone that can give us some information or come on with us and give us a talk and share that information with us. So again, feel free. I want this to be something, again, we can all benefit from and help you guys as well. So there's certain topics or things you want to talk about or have questions have answered and things, again, let us know, and we can definitely look into that. Let's just pop the comments here. Thanks, Bonnie. Bonnie says, you kept me grounded with your videos of your exercise classes and great PatFacts. Thank you. Greatly appreciate it. Well, thank you, Bonnie. That means so much. I really appreciate you saying that. Yeah, it was definitely different and unique and challenging time. But we kind of get into it. We kind of settled into our own. Again, daily. Usually PatFacts is daily in the evenings, and in the mornings, if you weren't with us, I was doing daily workouts. A few different kind of formats, and then settled into kind of each day being a format. And then again, because of work commitments and things, that kind of scaled back. But it was great. It was a neat experience for me to teach to a lens and even speak to a lens when I'm used to teaching multiple people at a time in a gym, in a fitness center, in a studio, presenting to people again in a gym or in a conference setting, having multiple people there. Taking everything in. So it was really interesting to try to, in fitness for me, I feed off the energy of the crowd as well, just as much as I try to give out. So it was a unique learning experience to try to gain that from through a screen and through your comments, to get that energy and just knowing you're tuning in and you guys being here. So again, thank you to all of you for being here and for the kind words and for your consistency and support Again, it helped me just as much, if not more, as I tried hopefully my best to help you guys work through those difficult times, and then again coming out of that and just trying to create a better way of life, a better lifestyle for ourselves, and create the systems and processes that we need to accomplish the things that we want to and deserve to accomplish. So again, we try to call it our community here. We all help each other. Like I've shared before, our pal Peter Twist says, don't just make the team better. And I feel like we all do that with each other here, with our support, with our messages, with our showing up, with our positivity pandemic that we share with each other, and that good energy. We all make each other better, and that continues to kind of go around the group. We're interconnected, just like all our systems, and that energy again feeds off each other and helps each other continue to grow and evolve and maintain momentum and want to do better and get better, which is great. It's what we want. We want a nice supportive community around us. So thinking back over the last again 5 years, there's been a few interesting moments. I've mentioned, and most of you know our pal Blake Miles, who hops in occasionally, and usually we do our yearly. He'll come in and talk about vision boards and vision statements and mission statements. There was one episode where I found it a few weeks ago, scrolling through my archives, where I was talking and doing a PatFacts, and whatever I was speaking to, I think related to Blake in a way, because all of a sudden I got a request that he would want to join our stream. This would have been an Instagram stream, I believe. And speaking of whatever I was talking about, our pal Blake wants to join us. And it turns out in the end that he actually just pushed the button by mistake and was kind of picking around to figure out Instagram Live and see how it worked. And he didn't know how to cancel the request once he sent it. So he came on, we had a few laughs, and then we eventually tied it back to the topic. But it was kind of a unique experience for me as kind of the host of the show to have that happen when typically there's not many people that come on, or we organize it in advance. So to have that happen and react to it and respond to it was an interesting time. And from then on, we kind of planned our visits with Blake just so we had advance warning that he was coming on. But again, things like that, you never know. We've had tech issues. A couple weeks ago, my batteries died in my mic partway through the show. We've had camera issues and different things. So again, it's always unique. It's always an adventure every time we kind of get the studio ready and get our topics set up and our talking points and what things are going to go on. Remember in our first year anniversary, spending that episode looking back at the first year and just going over those points again, and us watching together. I screen shared it here. We watched it together, and I would kind of pause it and talk back and forth about different experiences and maybe how things had changed in the year since we had been broadcasting. Actually, speaking of Blake came on with us. It was last year or the year before for our anniversary episode, and we kind of had some retrospective of PatFacts and how PatFacts tied into the three not so wise men, and which evolved into Have a Wiser Lady at the end of it as well, a show Blake and I did with Chris and Maria that some of you tuned into. There was times when I did extra episodes of PatFacts to fill in for them, and it turned into a little retrospective and a really reflection of just looking back and seeing kind of my progression as the host and as being here, and again a talking head for 30 to 45 minutes each week for you guys to tune in and hopefully listen to and get some things out of. It's been cool to see my progression as a host and being online and being live and be able to again handle some of those uncertain situations. The other show with 3 to 4 of us on, sometimes 5 if we had a guest. Again, there was a little more interaction and just things to respond and react to. Whereas here we're kind of controlled and prepared and know what we're going to talk about and what we're going to kind of go through in the format of things. So it was great that way because again, it kept me on my toes and ready. And it's again been fun to look back over the 5 years and think of those progressions and those changes and those evolutions. And from being outside on my little mini deck, it wasn't even a deck, it was like steps with my headphones in with the device, and doing a Facebook stream and then an Instagram stream after separately, because I didn't have StreamYard or things like that, to how we've progressed and having mics and lights and different things to use. It's been, again, a really cool retrospective to look back and see some of that evolution over the last 5 years. And so thinking of that and going through that and thinking of those times and looking back over the 5 years, I thought it's something good for all of us to do. Even if you haven't been with us the 5 years, we're all kind of in the same type of situation, not 100% identical, but some sort of situation related to the pandemic 5 years ago. This week basically is when things sort of took a turn. That's why we went live. I think that was the first day sort of here that things were really shut down or all over. So maybe use tonight, or if you have your moments where you kind of work on your personal development in relation to the topics we talk about and your goals, let's take a few minutes to reflect and look back over the last 5 years. Go back to March of 2020 and work forward and give yourself a moment to celebrate the successes you've had. Give yourself that pat on your back that you deserve for the hard work you've put in, for the consistency you've shown, for being here to watch PatFacts, to do the workouts with me when I was doing those in the mornings online from various locations, to those who have again set big goals every fall and worked through the year to accomplish them and progress to them, and those of you who've bettered yourself with cutting out or cutting down or back on the booze while you pick up the workouts and increase your water intake. Cheers for some water. And how you've put in more focus at work, or been more accomplished, or what you've done. And then look at the struggles too, the hiccups, the bumps in the road. What did you learn from that? How did you take that moment, that situation that probably wasn't very pleasant, and turn it around and learn from it and improved on it so that it didn't happen again? Or if it did happen again, you were able to handle a little more, or didn't impact you as much because you've been through before and had strategies in place. So I think it's a really great time to, again, we talked kind of month end, we reviewed our goals for this year, how we're doing at the end of February into early March. But I think now, this being our anniversary episode, and again, just the thoughts and kind of memories that came back, the different iterations of PatFacts and how we went through it, made me think how this would be a great time to set a target of 5 years all together. Again, even if you haven't been with us, that's okay. Go back to do the Wayne's World time machine, go back to 2020, March 2020, and bring yourself forward. And maybe hopefully you've been doing some tracking, you've got it written down somewhere in your journals or in your workout logs and things like that you can revisit and go through those and see the successes, the bumps in the road, things that work, things that weren't working. Maybe there's some moments that were really impactful that you just haven't thought of in a while. I find for me, when I was, as I mentioned before, working in Afghanistan for the Canadian Armed Forces for 6 months, there were certain things I picked up there, and certain qualities and traits and things I kind of realized there. And sometimes I forget about it. And then I find every once in a while, I'll be talking to someone who'll say, what do you do? What's your experience? Or where have you worked before? Or it'll kind of come up. And then they'll be like, oh, Afghanistan. And I'll explain it a bit. And that kind of gives me almost a reminder of, oh yeah, at that time, I kind of learned these things that I want to apply to myself or apply to life. And maybe I've gotten away from those a little bit. So it gives me that reminder. So it could be the same thing for you. Maybe something happened. Maybe you reconnected with someone online you hadn't spoken to in a long time. Maybe you learned something about yourself. And I know Jen, who used to be with us quite regularly, she picked up art during COVID, doing lessons online, and that transitioned to in person. And now she's selling her paintings at festivals and different art shows, and she's making all kinds of different projects. She kind of dove into that finally, something she'd been wanting to do but put off because it was for her and not for everybody else. But she took it up and dove into it, and now it's a great hobby for her. That's even giving her a little bit back when she sells some of her artwork. So again, take the time to revisit those moments and see if there's things again that maybe impacted you then, or these big moments that maybe reminded you of something or just taught you something about yourself. Or maybe you thought, you know what, I need to be maybe try to be less intense. Maybe I need to lay back a little bit. Maybe I need to not sweat the small stuff. Maybe I need to slow down a little bit, and maybe I need to say no more. Maybe I need to say yes more. Again, going through and thinking and remembering of those times. Again, hopefully you have some kind of tracking of those moments that will help you remember and go through and really see it. But if not, just start to sit and think back to those times. You can go back to March 2020 and work yourself back up to today, and just recognize yourself for all that you've accomplished, all that you've been through, and are still here to tune in to my our show every week, and tune in and see what we're going to get up to. You've been through a lot. You've been through a pandemic. You've been through different political garbage going on. You've been through different all kinds of different things, weather, different things. There's been so much, again, thrown at us, information and tech changes and different things to deal with. There's always something going on. You've been through a lot in the last 5 years. And take some time, reflect on it, revisit it, celebrate the wins, because chances are you probably didn't in the moment because we're on to the next thing, or the next things come at us. So give yourself that permission to celebrate those victories, appreciate yourself, and acknowledge yourself for that job well done. And then again, the hiccups, the bumps in the road, look at those, learn from them. What did you learn in the moment from them? Have you stuck with that learning, or did it kind of get by the wayside when we got back into the rat race, the routine? Is it good to have that reminder to maybe bring you back in check, or is it something you've had to kind of stick with you since that moment, and hopefully it's helped you either minimize or hopefully avoid that from reoccurring or having the impact on you that it did then. But again, it's a nice chance to have those things sort of use them as tools so that, again, we can get better and improve ourselves. And if we want to know where we're going, we kind of have to know where we've been. We got to look a little bit in the rear view to see what's going on. The windshield's the bigger window. We want to be looking forward and progressing and not dwelling on the past. But just like in your car, every once in a while, you want to glance up to that rear view mirror and take a look behind you and see where you've come from and see what's going on back there. So again, I think just that 5-year mark, all of our 5-year anniversaries here together of the show was a great moment to look back on and really see we're 5 years since everything really shut down and came to a standstill. And we all had to adjust and work from home and deal with different levels of uncertainty. We shouldn't go outside. We shouldn't be around people. We can't be careful where we step on the sidewalk if someone sneezed and all this. There was all these things that we didn't know what was going on and what was true and what was factual, or because it was all so new. But again, we worked through it. We figured out a way. We knew it was okay to get outside, get fresh air, to get our fitness in. You guys joined me on those workouts. You joined me here on PatFacts, where if nothing else, you could come in for half an hour or so. And again, maybe get some information, but maybe just get an escape for a few moments of maybe not thinking too much about things, or having a laugh, or enjoying yourself as you went forward. So again, you take that time to look back. K-Man's gone through already. Chris says his hair aged well in 5 years. That's pretty good. Especially does look very nice. It's very good head of hair you got there, Chris, on you. Must be all that fructus oil you do or something. Whatever your technique is. The Don Johnson hair care routine that you follow is really paying off. Yes, sure you do. Chris says he dances and goes out far more now than pre-COVID. He's always out at different events from DJs that we both get to experience on Twitch during the pandemic, and that's how Chris and I met, was through streams and watching DJs and things too. But going out and dancing, and you know what? It's a great way to get out and de-stress. Be out, be around some people, being social. Dancing is a great way to reduce stress, get a little activity in, have some fun. It's a great way to improve your mental health and help you feel better. And again, if nothing else, maybe get your mind off all the garbage that's out there for a few minutes to a few hours in the day. And those breaks are what we need. So definitely encourage you to take the time. And as Chris has here already, if there's something you think of right now or on recording, even next week if you join us, if there's something over the last 5 years, a moment that stands out to you, whether it was based on the show or just something, again, as you reflect and go back on a moment that was impactful to you or something that you've carried on since then, that maybe you made a big change then because of a situation and you thought, you know what, this is okay for me. I'm going to carry this momentum forward, because our goal then was to try to come out of COVID stronger than we were going into it. That was my goal for my community, for you guys, was to come out of it stronger than we went into it, so that we're even more prepared for life. We're even more operationally fit, and we're more equipped to handle that type of situation should one come up again. So again, we'd love to hear from you in the comments and the chats as well. If you think of a moment from the show that you've enjoyed over the last 5 years or few months, if you can't remember 5 years back, or again, look on your reflection, if there's something that sits with you, triggers with you, a change you made then, or even something you did that you got away from that you think, you know what, I was reminded of that in my reflection. Let's get that back on point, because we have moments, right? Like I said, I forget to not sweat the small stuff and not get too caught up into things. And that was something I really learned in Afghanistan, because there's so many things you couldn't help. So, okay, we don't have hockey sticks because they needed supplies. Okay, we'll do something else. We'll figure something out. Whatever, no big deal. Things could be a lot worse. But again, I get that reminder sometimes. So hopefully there's things like that for you within this time. So we'd love to hear from you if you're comfortable sharing as well. Yes, exactly, K-Man. Chris says helps a lot. So again, going out and dancing and things, great people too with similar interests, great for mental and physical health for sure. Good music, good people, some good dancing for most of you, I think. Again, mental health, physical health, the social aspect of it, you get some laughs in, have some fun. Again, you just tuning out the outside world for a few moments does wonders for us. It brings us out of that kind of fight or flight sort of response that a lot of us are almost stuck in because of all the notifications and alerts and things going on in the news with the tickers and everything. We spend a lot of time in that zone, and we're not supposed to be in that zone all the time. It's a survival. It's meant to be in the zone and then out of the zone. And for a lot of us, because we stay in that zone quite a bit, that's why we see increased inflammation and different weight gains, and stress management isn't as good as it used to be. We need to come out of that and get that break. So things like that, going out with some friends to dinner, or to go and dance a bit, spend time with friends outside, call someone on the phone, put your headphones on, some good music. Again, give yourself those little breaks where we can, hopefully, again, if nothing else, maybe it's a 30-minute escape from everything else, where you can shut off the outside world a little bit and not be so bombarded with the negativity. And we're all about positivity pandemic here. A lot of negativity out there that gets kind of fed to us. We can be mindful of that. So find the breaks from it where you can, wherever that is for you. If it's maybe some time to yourself, if it's time with friends, if it's time in nature, if it's time with music, time with a good book, time with having a nap, whatever it is for you, find those things and those moments to get away, to recharge, to have some fun. We don't have enough fun when we're grown ups. We don't play anymore. We think kids play. No, we all need to play. We all need to laugh and have fun and enjoy ourselves. So find time to do that. Make time to do that. Make it a priority. And again, maybe as you look back, you'll see moments where, you know what, I had lots of fun over COVID, because it was just me and I could play my music loud and I danced because I couldn't go anywhere. Maybe you need to bring that back. Crank up the stereo, dance in your living room, have some fun, and let loose a little bit. For sure, yeah, Bonnie. Bonnie says sometimes simplicity is well appreciated. Music, books, things like that. Just something simple, for sure. Again, it's all about what works best for you. And when the moment is, it's situation specific. Sometimes you'll feel like going out with a bunch of people and dancing and socializing. And sometimes you just want to stay home with a good book or some good music on, or watching a movie and hanging out with some quiet time. And kind of in between that spectrum as well. So whatever, again, works best for you in that present time. There's sometimes where I'm like, yeah, let's all go meet up. Let's hang out. Let's watch the Jays game or Raptors game, or let's go dance. And then some nights, like, nah, I'll just sit home and watch the Jays game and by myself, my house, nice and comfortable, not too many people around. I just need to unplug for a little bit and keep things simple, like Bonnie said. So there's no kind of right or wrong answer to that. Again, it's individual specific and moment specific, what you've got going on, what you feel you need in that present time. Maybe people are the reason you're in that fight or flight zone. Maybe they're the ones that have kind of set you off or upset you a little bit. So maybe you need that time away to kind of unplug from people for a little bit. Thanks, Bonnie. Thanks for being here as always. Thanks for your support and for being here over the 5 years. Enjoy the reflection and look forward to hearing more from you if you find those moments. We'll see you next week, Bonnie. So again, just again thinking of using the time to reflect and again maybe relearn a bit about yourself, or again celebrate what you've accomplished so far. Recognize that maybe you made the change back in 2020 or in 2022, I think that's when they sort of came out of COVID. But you get the idea. Maybe you made a change when things opened back up, when you had to go back to work, or when you were doing a hybrid sort of thing, or maybe you had to make some kind of changes then. We talked about trying to plan before COVID kind of ended, if it ever did, but that's another topic. But when the lockdowns and the restrictions sort of ended and things opened back up, we talked about having a plan before that happened. So again, we could hang on to some of these good qualities and events that we had. People were enjoying time with their kids and helping with schoolwork. So they actually knew what they were doing in school, or having board game nights again and movie nights and with their family, things like that. Again, maybe we get away from some of that as things get back into normal, back to that rat race. Again, maybe revisiting those 5 years and seeing some of those moments, or again, reflecting on what you did or remembering some of that stuff. Maybe it'll bring it back to the forefront to say, hey, you know what? Let's sit with our calendar and let's figure out a time to bring back board night. When can we have a family board night? Is there a night when we're all together that we can play for a little bit? We play Monopoly here once in a while, but we'll bookmark where we were because Monopoly is such a long game. We'll put all our stuff together in Ziplocs. We'll write what location we're on last, and put our money aside and things, so the next time we have time to play, we can pull the game out, set it back up, and continue on. So we're not stuck having to spend multiple hours playing Monopoly game, because it is a long, drawn-out game is the premise of it. So we do it that way so we can work through it. So some nights we'll play a short game, cards or check or something. Some nights we'll get to the Monopoly, we'll pick up from where we left off and then carry on with that kind of same story, pick up where we left off kind of deal. So again, no right or wrong. It's about finding the things that work best for you. So take the time over the next week. Again, pick a time that works best for you. Again, look back. It's been 5 years. This week was when things kind of locked down and changed. Go back through those 5 years up until this week. Again, celebrate the successes. Revisit the hiccups, the bumps, the learning opportunities that came when things weren't as successful. Again, learn from those again, or remind yourself what you learned before, or again, maybe celebrate what you've learned and that you're still implementing. And again, use that as momentum to keep yourself moving forward and keep yourself progressing towards that year-end goal. So happy 5th anniversary, everybody. Again, thank you so much for being here week to week, day to day in the beginning. Again, we appreciate the comments, you being here. Again, if you're live or recording, thank you for tuning in and watching. Thank you for sharing this on your pages and your communities. Let people know, but bring them in, build this community up, so we can again all help make the team better. That's it for tonight, gang. Again, thanks so much for your support. We'll see you back here next week. Until then, remember, always make yourself the priority that you deserve to be by striving to be operationally fit. Stay safe, take care. Happy 5th anniversary. We'll see you next week.